So what if you could actually command your body to sleep on demand in less than 2 minutes? Today, we're going to break down a protocol that was developed for some of the most extreme environments on Earth, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it.
Look, this isn't about just being tired. This is a skill you can train. It's the ability to deliberately switch off your nervous system, even when every single instinct is screaming at you to stay alert. That is the level of control we are talking about here.
And in this explainer, we're giving you that exact protocol, step by step.
Now, this isn't some life hack you find online. This is a serious protocol forged for operators where recovery isn't just nice to have, it's a critical life-or-death component of mission success.
It's known, pretty simply, as the military method, a direct, no-fluff approach to taking control of your own nervous system.
So why should any of this military-grade stuff matter to you? Well, because it proves that recovery under pressure isn't something that just happens to you. It's an active skill. This is all about taking manual control of your own biology to boost your performance.
And hey, if you're into these kinds of elite mental performance breakdowns, you should definitely subscribe. We break down the real methods and mental tools used by the world's top performers every single week.
Okay, so before we jump into the protocol, we have to understand the very problem it was designed to defeat. And it's a paradox we've all experienced. The harder you try to fall asleep, the more awake you feel. Have you ever noticed that? The more you try to conk out, the wider awake you become. Why does it feel like your brain is actively fighting back?
Well, there's a name for this. It's called the fail point. It's that exact moment your goal shifts from relaxing into sleep to actively striving for sleep. That sense of pressure, of trying, is what triggers the release of cortisol, a major stress hormone, and suddenly your internal monologue is just off to the races.
This slide just lays out that internal conflict perfectly. Over on the left, when you're forcing sleep, you're basically kicking off a fight or flight response. But on the right, when you're allowing sleep, you're engaging the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the body's rest and digest mode. Two totally different worlds. Now, the first two parts of this protocol, they're about getting your body ready. They're pretty straightforward, but there is a final, absolutely crucial mental step that most people get wrong, and it sabotages the whole thing. And we're about to cover it.
So let's get into the actual protocol. These are the 3 steps that are used to command a full system shutdown.
The whole process is simple and very systematic. First, you've got a muscle scan. Second, a very specific breathing pattern. And third, the mental key to the whole thing, imagery displacement. Let's break down each one.
All right, step 1 is the muscle scan. It's simple. Your brain cannot relax if your body is holding on to tension. So you start with your face, unclench your jaw, relax the tiny muscles around your eyes, and then you just systematically scan down your entire body, consciously telling each muscle group to just go limp.
Step 2, the breath pattern. Here, you're taking manual control of your breathing. A simple box breath works great. You breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. The exact pattern is less important than the rhythm. What you're doing is using your breath as a signal to tell your nervous system that everything is safe.
And right here, this is the step where most people fail. Imagery displacement. You need to hold a simple, calm, and this is the most important part, non-moving image in your mind. Imagine yourself lying in a canoe on a perfectly still, glassy lake, or maybe in a black velvet hammock in a pitch-black room. This passive, boring image literally displaces the active, stressful thoughts that are keeping you awake.
So that's the how. But now, let's get to the why. Because this isn't just some relaxation trick. It's a very targeted sequence designed to manually flip a specific biological switch in your body.
The first goal is to achieve something called parasympathetic dominance. You're essentially telling your body to shift gears, to get out of that high-alert fight-or-flight state and into the calm, rest and digest state that is absolutely required for recovery.
And the second goal is something called cortical quieting. This is all about shutting down the thinking part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex. That's the part that generates all the worries, the to-do lists, the mental chatter. By giving it a boring, non-moving image to focus on, you stop it from running wild.
And this is where you can see how all the pieces just click together so brilliantly. The muscle scan tells your brain there's no physical danger. The rhythmic breathing manually slows your heart rate, which calms the nervous system. And that static imagery, it occupies your cortex, preventing it from creating the very thoughts that produce stress in the first place.
When you put all these pieces together, you start to realize this isn't just a sleep tip. It's a complete system for commanding your own recovery. and the whole thing hinges on one last, really important mental shift.
And just a quick heads up, the topic we're breaking down next week is how special forces psychologically train themselves to manage and endure extreme pain. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it.
This brings us to the most important takeaway of this entire explainer. When you are using this method, your goal is not to fall asleep. The moment you make sleep the objective, you create performance anxiety and you trigger that fail point we talked about.
Instead, your only goal is to just follow the 3 steps. Relax your body, calm your breath, and hold a quiet image. That's it. That's the whole job. Because sleep isn't something you can force. It's something you have to allow.